Everyone is pretending America 250 is just another summer barbecue, totally ignoring the heavy, unspoken tension choking this entire country right now. But beneath the cheap plastic merchandise, we are staring at a completely brittle society, where the real danger isn't just political tribalism, it's the absolute paralyzing terror of a mass panic in our cities. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. While the FBI is chasing down domestic drone plots, I'm actually genuinely completely freaked out, and I am worried about a localized radiological attack that I'm actually going to be bringing N95 masks on my trip to New York Harbor. And yeah, here's the thing. If you look back at America 200 or even 2006, the entire country was absolutely humming with unified patriotism. But today, that concept is completely dead, right? I remember back when I was a kid, you actually felt patriotic. You actually felt like something meant something, being part of the country. But somehow that's completely escaped us. And personally, I believe it has to do with the American flag being aggressively hijacked by far-right nut jobs. And I'm not talking about conservatives, Trump lovers. Like, I don't really agree with those people, but I'm talking about people further right than that. And that's leaving the rest of us feeling absolutely nothing but a deep, hollow exhaustion looking at our own American flag. And I think that's killed off American patriotism. It is increasingly depressing, but yeah, the American flag has been aggressively hijacked. That's just the reality here. And we're technically operating on the second oldest standing government on Earth as well. But instead of feeling resilient, this entire system feels like a societal pressure cooker made of wet cardboard, just waiting to violently rupture, or potentially just some brittle glass that's gonna, the second you flick it, it's gonna pop. That's what it feels like right now. And that's where my dirty bomb paranoia comes from. And the sad part, yeah, that's the thing. My brain is immediately jumping to something horrific happening. It feels like, just as I said, 20 years ago, we felt more patriotic, and it felt like something like that really just couldn't happen, right? Even post 9/11, like 9/11 felt like something that was just, it was fucking nuts, but like probably will never happen again. But it feels like today, like something could happen, right? On the 4th, it feels like something could happen, and I'm just very worried. And that's the sad part. My brain is immediately jumping to the fact that there's a possibility that some terrorist group, either be foreign or domestic, is going to set off a dirty bomb in Jersey City. Because, that's exactly the kind of thing that'd be most effective. That's a crippling psychological warfare technique that will permanently shatter our fragile population. Because, let's be honest, building a radiological dispersal device is an easily guaranteed suicide for them. But for all of us, that's going to do something. I don't know if I don't think our country could survive anything like that. I can't even imagine if 9/11 happened again. I wasn't really old enough to bear witness to society, during 9/11, but I've lived post 9/11 my entire life, really, right? Like, that's my entire memory of this country. And there was a time of patriotism. There was a time of strength. And I know fundamentally we are completely moved away from that. Like, there's no coming back. And society, as fragile it is today, as I would say, some people are either sidelined, a lot of people are sidelined, and there's a lot of people on left and right factions that absolutely hate each other. And I feel like even beyond that, just the massive amount of hate we get overseas, I don't know. It feels scary, right? That's what I'm getting out of this. But just know the reality of this whole situation is, if someone were to try and build a dirty bomb domestically, it would basically be a suicide mission, right? These guys are going to have to extract these isotopes, right, from medical machinery. That's most likely where they would get these radioactive isotopes from, right? And this obviously, I don't think they're going to have much funding, so most likely they're not going to have heavy lead shielding, which literally means that in a matter of I would say, I don't know how long exactly, but, in a few times of doing that, you're going to be dead within a few weeks. You're going to be hospitalized. So it's highly unlikely, but if a group were to have enough money, enough willpower, and enough hate towards this country and the people who live in it, why couldn't they? Especially something overseas. There's countries who firmly hate us, who have their own nuclear programs, especially some nuclear programs that have been blown up. Why not take some of that nuclear material, send it over here? I don't know. And the sad thing is this will have already been planned. This stuff, if this is going to happen, this stuff is already in the New York area or in the Washington, D.C. area. So, and I do have to, give you guys a little education here, right? A dirty bomb, like some people think dirty bombs are like a nuke, right? Because they go, oh, nuclear material. Oh my God. No. A dirty bomb is not a nuclear weapon. Well, it is a nuclear weapon, but it's not it's not something that could be, it's basically dynamite attached to nuclear material, right? The goal isn't to, create a criticality event, right? The goal is to disperse large amounts of radioactive dust around a large area. That is the goal of a dirty bomb, right? And these bombs are cruel because, in my opinion, to some degree, like an air detonated nuclear weapon, I believe is less dangerous than a dirty bomb. Just for the simple fact that we're going to have to clean up a dirty bomb, right? An airburst it's going to cause a lot of damage, but, the area is at least probably going to be safe to be in, right? That's the thing here. This is serious, right? This is one of the worst scenarios possible, and it's very easy for these people to commit such an atrocity, right? Because, to be frank, smuggling a highly radioactive payload into a major city like New York City or DC is a logistical nightmare, but it is possible. Federal cops and like the FBI, they sometimes have trouble tracking these things. I'm sure the CIA is also involved. I don't really know the agencies, but this stuff does slip through the cracks. There's been times where they've completely lost track of nuclear material. If you guys are from like the New York area, you guys might remember everyone talking about drones, and somehow that was tied to, well, it wasn't, I don't think it was officially tied to, but it was tied to by the people to assume they're trying to search for this missing nuclear material that, was at a port, right, a seaport, and it went missing, and they were trying to find it with these drones, right? Which is a real thing. They actually do that, but to be honest with you guys, the drones were just fucking airplanes. You guys are retards. Anyways, but all right, so I feel like I've kind of fear-mongered enough. What are the odds of this happening? I'm sure it's like 1,000,000 to 1. This is just, I guarantee it's not going to happen, but the real concerning thing here is, the real problem with this is the fact that as an American, right, I'm an American citizen. I've lived in America my entire life. I've traveled abroad before. I've done it plenty of times. I've spent a lot of time abroad, but I'm an American citizen. I consider myself an American, right? And, I was born here. I'll put that out there. I guess not everyone's born here as an American citizen. So to think that this is how I feel on America's 250th birthday is something else entirely. That is so fundamentally wrong, right? To say society is so broken and so fundamentally fucked up that I even have these concerns, right? That's the real problem, right? And as I said earlier, post 9/11, people, I'm sure, were not even feeling this way, right? There was a little bit more uneasiness than before, but it just felt like something that just probably couldn't happen again. But this country is so out of control, right, on the inside, that now we have not only we not only have threats abroad, we have threats inside our own country, right? That's what I find most concerning. And, I'm going to go through like what to do if there is a dirty bomb real quick, because just know this is just not going to happen. highly doubt it's going to happen. I'm not going to leave you here going, holy shit, guys, there's going to be a dirty bomb. And then, like, you know, I become the source of massive misinformation. And everyone's like, holy shit, this guy misled me. No, I highly doubt there'll be a dirty bomb. But maybe. I hope I'm wrong. I guess I'm not wrong. I'm not really predicting anything. I'm just posing a hypothetical situation that I've been feeling. And it's enough of a situation where I'm actually preparing, because I'm bringing N95 masks with me. I'm going to be on a boat in the New York Harbor, and I'm going to have N95 masks for me, right? So let's go through how exactly you should protect yourself, because the absolute only thing you should be doing is protecting your airways. That is the most important thing, right? The most dangerous thing about this entire event, I guess if you're in the vicinity of the explosion, that probably is, but you know, the outside area, if you get like an EAS alert or whatever, or you hear a loud explosion, then you need to protect your airways. You can use a cloth or an N95. That's what I plan on doing. So use a t-shirt, right? That's going to help you out. And I'm pretty sure if you make it damp, that actually will help even more. And, you know, if you do manage to get inside, I'm going to be on a boat, so that's going to be quite difficult. But, you know, if I do somehow manage to get it inside, you want to strip off your contaminated clothes as fast as you can, right? And you want to leave them in an area where you're not going to contaminate the rest of your house or the rest of the building, right? And what I have to warn you about is when you start to wash yourself up, do not use conditioner. Conditioner will literally cement the radioactive particles to your head, to your skull. You'll have that on your head, and you're just gonna be absolutely fucking radiated, right? So, to end this video off, I guess this is kind of bleak. This is how I'm feeling on America 250. I don't know what to say about this. This is the video I made. This is the video I decided to make for America 250. Anyways, you know, I might sound kind of paranoid here, but is anyone else feeling this way? Is anyone else feeling this weird dread? I don't know. And like, I'll just be fully honest with you. I'm still going into New York City, so obviously I'm not like super afraid of this, right? If I really wanted to, I could have just stayed home. I can stay home and say fuck that. Right? If I'm actually afraid, I'm not afraid. Highly doubt it's going to happen, but I'm going to be prepared if it happens. Right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be prepared. I'm not going to let it take me if that 1 in a million chance does come. And it does sound paranoid, right? Preparing for a chance that it's a 1 in a million. Probably not a 1 in a million. Might be higher than that, actually. But for a chance that big, you know, it is a bit stupid, right? I'm pretty sure the odds of a nuclear weapon being detonated by accident is actually 1 in a million, if I remember correctly. That's the odds for that. So we don't all prepare for a nuclear weapon to be accidentally dropped on our own people, right? So should I be preparing for this? Probably not, but it's going to give me some security, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Anyways, tell me what you guys think. Are you guys having this problem, or is anyone else feeling this way? If not, tell me in the comments. If so, tell me in the comments, I guess. I don't know. Second channel, don't really give much of a fuck. Thank you guys for watching, and stay safe out there. Also, I guess, don't blow yourselves up. That's the major risk, blowing yourselves the fuck up. Don't fuck around with fireworks, you dumbass!